Moshe. Here we are in South Africa for another episode, and we have some special guests here. So the question is about teaching aggression in combat in martial arts and Krav Maga to people that may be reluctant to be aggressive. How do you teach someone to be a little more aggressive so they have this aggression when they need it? Am I correct that that's the question?
Yes, that's the question. Thank you, Moshe.
Now, so my attitude is we can't use one approach for everybody. We have to be careful. It's not a simple answer because each individual may have different traumas. If I say to a woman, imagine you're being raped, and the reason she's in the Krav Maga class is because she in fact was raped. So I'm not helping her. She won't have more aggression. She'll be completely berserk, out of control. She's come to Krav Maga to learn how to deal with trauma, and all I've done is I've traumatized her. If I say, imagine your son points a gun in his mouth. Well, we had a student who did that and killed himself, and so forth. If I say, imagine this scenario, Rob, imagine this scenario now, I might be triggering the exact trauma that you're here to overcome. So I can't use a one catchphrase for everybody, so there's no easy answer. You gotta find what motivates the person to up their game a little bit and say when you need to fight because your home is attacked, when you need to fight because someone is trying to harm some member of the family without being, I would say, too specific. You can motivate them to go a little bit further. Not by saying simple slogans like, you go girl, or beat the crap out of a guy, or something like that, but more, again, no easy answer. Try to find what works for each individual. Does this make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Comment? Yes.
I do have a question. For instance, if you are, we have a lot of gender-based violence cases,
Yes.
and especially when you are attacked by somebody that's supposed to love and protect you, you tend to not want to protect yourself and fight back because of fear of them actually wanting to kill you. So how do we bring out that aggression in somebody that's been experienced that trauma? What do you look for in that student, and at what level would you start bringing and working on the aggression levels?
That's a tough question here. It's a tough question here because you do have to know each individual in your group. You do have to get to know each person in the group as an individual. You have to take the time to get to know a student. Once you've done that, you have to, in a sense, tailor it to their needs and try to find some way to bring out that aggression, but not perhaps in a personalized way. Like say, you're fighting for your people, or you're fighting to protect the schoolyard, which isn't your particular situation, but just a generic situation maybe that you know that doesn't affect this particular person. And now if it's a person that, like you're saying, is a loved one who should be protecting you, I think that begins earlier. I think that begins with the idea of I matter. Someone's trying to hurt me, I'm somebody, I'm important. No one has a right to hurt me. Nobody. Not a parent, not a spouse, not a child who's out of control. You have to remember that as much as you care for people that are close to you in your circles, you also matter. You're not a doormat to be stepped upon by other people. I mean, there was a case in America a few months ago where allegedly a son killed both his parents. Well, they still have to protect themselves, even though it's their son. He's with a knife, he's angry for whatever reasons. I think that self-defense would stem from self-worth. I'm not nobody. I may be the wife, the mother, whatever, but I'm not nobody. I have value, and I will protect that value. And IKI's defenses are inherently defensive, and if you do need to go in a counter move, there are ways to do it that cause permanent damage. There are ways to do it that don't. With every technique that we do, like the universal block, there's a way to strike a face, a nose. There's a way to strike a chest, maybe, to get the disconnect. So there are ways to fight back without causing the person permanent damage. Maybe they'll reform. Maybe they'll become a better person later on. You don't want to kill them right now. So again, I always say ABC. The ability, purpose, circumstances. Circumstances, it's a terrorist, that's one response. He'll never see tomorrow. Circumstances, it's a son who had some psychotic episode. You don't want to kill him. You may use a strike with a blunt part of the arm against a certain part of the body that will knock him out, or push him away, or push yourself away, but not permanently harm him. Because it is somebody you care about, or a drunken relative or something. Does that help?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, if I can just chime in there. I think it's specifically when you talk about gender-based violence, the two decisions that can be made. So the first thing is the person's realization that they need to do something. And then the second part of that is that they actually can do something, that they are going to do something. And those are psychological triggers. You've got to, as Moshe was saying, they're deeply entwined with your own sense of self-worth, particularly your children, whatever it happens to be, because for some period of time you've been submissive. So you have to break that pattern of behavior first before you can start. It's a very.
How do you break that behavior?
You keep coming to training, you keep coming to class, you have other people that are building you up, you slowly build up your self-esteem, you start to feel like somebody at work. It's not really something like learning the Rubik's Cube where I've got like this, there's a specific set of moves and hey presto, I've got all the colors. It's a much more complex psychological conundrum and every one of them is unique.
It is, and the reason why I'm asking this question is because we may have had a certain student that was with us for quite some time. And we really thought she was at a level where we really built her up to an extent where she's really able to defend herself. And then something horrific happened and a group of men raped her. And she was unable to defend herself. And then I go, as a Krav instructor, I felt, what could I have done to bring out any more aggression? I wasn't there to see the scenario, I would have heard and things, but I feel as a Krav instructor, how can I bring out the aggression in her to overcome that?
Okay, I would say like this. Again, amplifying what Rob said and what I said earlier, and we'll conclude with this. First of all, there's bag work. You can hit the bag and not worry about hurting anybody. Earlier today, we watched a full contact fight. Both fighters were very aggressive, and there was a lot at stake. It was not only an individual fight, but on a national level, national pride. The three brothers who fought fighting not for themselves, but for the glory of the people, in memory of the soldiers who were killed and so forth. And yet, at the end of the fight, what you see, each one said, I want to hear a lot of noise for this guy who fought me, even though he lost. And they hugged each other, they kissed each other on the head. He raised up the other guy's hand, that this is a glorious fighter. I want everyone to praise this guy. So what do you see? There was no personal animosity. When he was hitting this guy with full force, he wasn't saying, I hate him. No, it's a fight. So just like a Muay Thai or full contact kickboxer who's trained to fight aggressively and hard, but not to make it personal, that's what we have to work on. As Rob said, it's not a magical solution. There's no easy way. It takes time. You need a professional trainer. Not YouTube. Okay, when you see sometimes in MMA fights that they end with the guy who lost the fight pushing him and then fighting, hey, break him up after the fight. We see this often. Or there'll be a fight after the fight. Those are animals. The people we saw fight today in Israel were gentlemen. We go full force, then we respect each other. I respect you for entering the ring. I respect your fighting ability. There's no easy solution. You need a good trainer. Thank you.